morning, and how is everybody doing this fine Wednesday? I thought I would jump on and do a little live and talk about parasites because that seems to be a hot topic right now. And again, like everything else health related, there is so much confusion and overwhelm as to what's right, what's wrong, am I doing it right? All of the confusion that the internet ultimately brings to every single health topic you could ever possibly talk about. There's always somebody saying, no, that's dangerous, this is dangerous, that's dangerous. That's just the way it goes. It's the same in breath work, it's the same in cold water. There's these conflicting views as to what's right and what's wrong. And in today's mental world, the big issue for us is, who do we trust? What do we do? And, one of the main things that's, as you know, if you follow me, that's close to my heart is the actual issue of cost. What if people want to actively take part in especially some of the biotherapies that we have up here? And if they want to try and find out, do I have parasites? What's the best way forward? And all the questions that inevitably that you have around your health, especially if you're struggling. So what do we do about that? How do we help people that don't have the money, that don't live close by, etc.? So let's start at the very beginning. So why have so many of us having this chat about parasites? And I'll just talk about my own personal story, right? I have done a lot of foreign travel. And so if you're going to countries all over the world, so-called third world countries that maybe don't have the same exact hygiene standards as us, but probably that's a lot of bollocks now as well, isn't it? But the reality is, if you go to a foreign country and the body's not designed to be there, the bacteria that we pick up and the parasites, etc., in the jungle, which often you are eating a lot of street food, etc. There's different temperatures, so things can get into the body that really, back in the day would never have got in. So through food and through sex. So that's two of the ways. But then there's also at home all the different things now. You've got ticks, you've got fleas, you've got the biowarfare, whatever is going on in the ether. There's viruses. Of people say there's no such thing as a virus, but let's just call it that for now. Doesn't matter what name you've got. There's the kind of degradation of the food chain and the topsoil. And then there's the massive amount of consumerism for cheap shit products that people put on in the body. So we've created a cesspit for disease. And what can happen in this digestive system? Let me get Bodhi over. So what can happen is that in here, it's like a stagnant pond. The temperature's changed in here, and now things can thrive in here that were never meant to be. And you hear people talking about inflammation a lot. And what happens when it gets inflamed in here, it'll send information through the bloodstream into the joints, achy joints, brain fog, all the stuff that people are coming to me for. And this in here, there can be fungus, there can be parasites, there can be little ecosystems within this ecosystem. And this can be leaking. And if this is leaking into the bloodstream, then we can have all sorts of allergies. And what can happen now is if you're blood group A in particular, you can have a more permeable small intestine. And that means that things can get out and in easier, and you're more likely to be stressed. So we look at the physical side, obviously, but most of you that know me, you know that I'm not really interested in the physical side. I'm interested in the energy side, and I'm interested in what's flowing and what's not flowing. And when we look at this as an energy system that has this phenomenal fascia system, lymphatic system, vagus nerve running through it, this is all that I'm really interested in now. And that's really, I suppose, how the Chinese and a lot of the Eastern have looked at it anyway. What is flowing? What is stagnant in the body? So it's really, really key. There's a big difference. Instead of thinking there's something wrong with me, no, there's just a lack of flow. And, you know, one of my friends was saying, why are we all so low in oxygen? Because we're not outside. This is the issue, right? We're not designed to live inside with fake lighting, Wi-Fi, stress, phone calls. We're living in an anti-nature way. And that's a real issue for the body. So again, you go back to this baby. There's no light getting in here. There's no fresh water getting in here. The essential fat issues, because they terrified as a fat, and it's quite difficult once you've terrified somebody of something to unterrify them and say, no, actually, that's good for you now. People are scared of fat. Fat's the best thing you can get in this body. It heals the gut. It douses inflammation. It helps the light to flow through you, regardless of whether you're in the health hub getting the biotherapies to bring the nature, the light, the oxygen and the electromagnetic charge back into the body. Or if you're out in nature doing it in your bare feet, breathing in beside the trees, allowing the light to flow through you. It doesn't matter whether it's fake or real. This body is interacting with the field. So when we realise that we've now, in our digestive system, for a lot of us, there is a situation where it's too warm in there and things have started to live there that shouldn't be. And fungus and certain parasites are fed by good food and bad food. And it's really important to understand that what you're putting in is feeding your parasites and worms and all the critters that live in there, right? I call it the good army and the bad army. So what are you feeding with what you're putting in here, but also what you're putting in your face? And what are you putting in your hair? I mean, I've dyed my hair my entire life. I just think it's a miracle I'm still alive. See, when you start doing this stuff, you're like, the way I've treated this body. So anyway, now that I'm obviously getting to the last stage of my life, I'm like, right, we better start treating you better so that you stick around. Because the big thing right now is people are needing care, you know, and our care system is absolutely creaking at the seams. So we really, really need to learn this stuff. It is critically important. You don't want your kids looking after you. You don't want to put that onto your kids. You don't want to put that onto your parents. You don't want to put that onto anybody. So if you can listen to this podcast and let me educate you. So here's what I do. I don't believe in tests, right? Although I do them because people love them. I know when my body's out of kilter. My number one indicator is fatigue. So when I get till at 4 or 5 in the day and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm exhausted, not tired, exhausted. I know this baby here needs some care and attention, right? That's what I know about my body because I have lived in here for all these years and I have done, as people who know me know, I try everything in my own body. So let me get to the parasites, right? So when I started, I'm not going to tell you on this because you just get shut down. So I'm not going to talk about what I use for parasites and what I use for detoxing. You can find that out. You can join our community. I talk about it freely in there. But again, it's just this mad world we live in. If I start saying, do this, do that, and then anything happens to you, then you can blame me. Not that I really mind that, but I don't want to cause any trouble for my friends and team buddies. So I'm not going to be recommending products on here. But I absolutely have felt better when I detox. So think about the parasites. They're living in there and they're going, give me, I want beer. I mean, I'm very open about the fact when I moved to Malta, I drank beer every single day for 18 months. And fed the beer parasites. So then when you stop doing that, beer and wine are probably two of the worst ones for the gut because they're fermented in the yeast. But not for everybody. But for me, I was getting sort of a real distended belly. It's crazy when you think about it now. That's nearly 16 years ago. 66 tomorrow, my God. So, so there's two things. So here's the parasites. So they can be transferring their emotion, like, give me this, I want sugar. Fungus loves sugar. And, we know that there very often is a fungal element to cancer. So we need to know this stuff. So we need to starve with an elimination diet to starve the critters. And again, you'll get vastly varying points of view on this. I'm only telling you what I do because it's all about the water in, water out, getting the lymphatic system moving and flowing, getting your routes of elimination absolutely clean and clear, right? So that whatever goes in here can go through, and the liver obviously takes a lot of the stress. So we need to make sure that the liver, the kidneys, and the gallbladder are allowing whatever's going in to come back, and whatever we're killing in here to come back out. So that's really key to know. And if anybody's ever gone in a Candida diet before, you'll know that you can get a die-off, which can make you feel terrible. And this is where it gets tricky, because when you feel terrible, you think, oh, I'm doing something wrong. I shouldn't be feeling like this. But yes, you should. You think about a lot of the treatments you would get for cancer. They make you feel terrible as well. So just suck it up and understand when you go into a detox, you can feel a lot worse before you feel better. And really the thing that I'm teaching everybody that's coming here is about faith in your body. So some people will not put you in a parasite cleanse. They'll do something very gentle, and that's absolutely fine and intelligent. But for me, I wanted to feel better quickly, so I was using parasite cleanses, and they worked for me. So what you have to do is you have to decide, and I didn't do any tests. I didn't get stool tests, blood tests, nothing like that. I knew there was something not right, and I did a parasite cleanse. And I've guided hundreds of people through parasite cleanses now and fasting. So the body, remember, heals itself. We've been fed this bullshit story that you need an expert because you don't know. You've got to be careful. That could be dangerous. And if you're a very fearful person and you're not confident in your own body, then absolutely seek the support and the help. And what I'm finding with the people that are coming to see me here, and there's a lot of them, with 17 new clients in the last 2 weeks. I'll talk about that in a second. All telling me the exact same story. And, very often just been going for tests, and not really getting anywhere because the digestive system is never addressed. And that's where it's all coming from. And, fibromyalgia, I'm like, that does my head in. It's like, you can heal that easily. It's not even a thing. These labels are really detrimental to people's health and power. I've got this. No, your body's talking to you. So back to the parasites. So find one that resonates with you, because, and I say this to all my clients, and quite often I'll muscle test people to see what their body wants, because what works for me might not work for you. But here's the thing, if you've got Candida, you will know by your symptoms. Google it, put it into ChatGPT. Bloating, exhaustion, brain fog, pain, aches and pains, and low mood, because we cannot miss out the power of the mind over this, and the breath. So if you just go on holiday once a year, if you've got pets, there's likely, if you're having these symptoms, extreme fatigue, bloating, aches and pains in the body, heaviness, brain fog. Did I say that already? My brain fog. So all of these symptoms are indicative of massive dysbiosis in the gut. So clean up your diet, get the sugar and the processed grains out. Simple as that. Bread, oh my God, that is possibly every bit as detrimental to your health as sugar is, the crappy bread. And what we do is we go sourdough. Yeah, and a lot of sourdoughs, if you make them yourself, are absolutely fine, but not a loaf a day. And the thing is, in our culture, we eat bread probably twice a day and maybe even 3 times if we're busy and, we're in a rush. So take the bread out and just look at it start off with the 6 weeks. Take the bread out, take the sugars out, and then start looking at what can you do. There's lots of different oils that you can use that can start to heal the gut. Get your diet. If you've not tried the ketogenic or the paleo, again, go into ChatGPT, Google it. I'm a big fan of the blood group diets as well, because what I know when my client says, choose one that you think you can do and follow that. Because if you don't follow it, and this is what happens, this is why I stopped actually really doing nutrition, because people just can't follow a diet plan. And if you look at it in the short term and go, right, okay, I'm going to cut that crap out. I'm going to intermittent fast. I'm going to make sure I'm getting enough water on a daily basis. I'm switching off my phone or laptop an hour before I go to sleep. I'm going to get deep sleep. I'm going to sauna. These are the very, very simple things that you can do to heal yourself. You don't need me. You don't need any expert. And this is what I'm so passionate about, is that, yes, everybody that comes here to me, I'm saying, do this. Oh, I've got that in the house. Yeah, I've got that in the cupboard. They know. Absolutely no. I have a device that can records your voice print and tells me what is living in there. Because everything's got a frequency. Some people don't understand this, so it seems a bit woo-woo. But everything has a frequency, and when your voice will give us all the information that we need in order for you to take control at home. And, one session with me for an hour is £60. And if you can't afford that, you just DM me if you want to come. That's absolutely fine. You know that. We never let money stand in the way of deep desire to heal. So there's no excuses. If you need support, because what happens, you go onto the online and you're just like, oh my God, where do I start? Excuse me. One place says do this, one place says don't do that. But of course, I couldn't possibly do a live without talking about the fascia. So we're looking at gut health and the fascia. And if you look at this, how the fascia twists and turns round, I mean, it's so fascinating, but it gets everywhere, a little bit like the vagus nerve and the lymphatic system, and we can't miss any of this out. This is the big problem, that we start to look at one thing. We've split the body into parts. It's a whole system that works together in a symbiotic way. So it's absolutely fascinating how we can affect the microbiome with oxygen, with the theralite bed, and with the red light. And you know that we have intensive laser red light here, which I'm using on my belly. And how we can, with the breath, a different breath work than what I teach, in the wild medicine breath work, but we're bringing in a new breath work that's going to focus on all this stuff, how we can use the breath to help gently massage the organs, squeeze the organs, and then use the pump in the lumbar region to help cleanse the lymphatic system and just create a very different environment. It's a bit like, your fish tank. You put in clean water and suddenly these opportunistic parasites can no longer reside there. That's what we want to do. I always say to people, we get the gardener in, get the grass cut, get the weeding done, get all the hedges trimmed back, get everything nice and tidy. That's what the parasite cleanse does. And then it's up to you to maintain it on a daily basis. And then we all have our airport days, or we go on holiday, etc. But then know that you have to get back to tend this. There is no one cleanse. Most cultures, when you do a lot of travel, and certainly in South America and Thailand and India, they do regular parasite cleanses because they understand that we're an ecosystem. And the thing is now, because we're, there's so many straws on this camel's back, and obviously if you took the vaccine and then if you had the infection, it can just be enough to the immune system just goes to the ground. And what we're finding with the biotherapies is charging the body up at the cellular level. It just gives enough energy for the immune system to kick in and just do that bit of healing that's needed. And very often, we talk about, I'm like that. I want to be energetic. I want to use this body until the day I die. I've ordered a heart attack. I want to just be like, boom, over and out. A good time, not particularly a long time, but I want to be fit and healthy until I go. So for most people, it's, it's not about eureka, I'm healed. It's about, like, take Alex Mitchell, my friend that came in on Monday. The cramp in his leg eased off, and I spoke to him yesterday, it's still eased off. The pain in his shoulder had gone. And, then he slept well. So these are the things. His wife, Michelle, had put on the cryo mask and she noticed a huge difference in her skin. So we're not talking about big eureka moments, the body's healed all the cancer or anything like that. We're talking about alleviating symptoms. And, that's an allopathic thing. Deal with the symptoms. We all know we want to get to the root cause. But while we're finding the root cause and training people to have faith in the body and understand the power within you to heal, the intelligence within you for healing, it's so goddamn exciting. Until we get to the root cause, we can ease the symptoms and make life easier for you. And everybody that's coming to me right now is exhausted. And I've got a lot of young guys coming, which is phenomenal because you tell them what to do and guess what? They do it. They want to be well. They're used to. And the other interesting thing I'm seeing is that I'm trying to tell my mum about this, and I've got women coming in saying, my son's been doing research, and it's so cool because obviously the internet's allowed that. I know there's negative things, but there's great things as well. And things like Gary Brecka and Joe Rogan and Dana White doing the superhuman protocol for performance, they know about this stuff already. They're already well educated. They understand. So, and they're really interested, when I get my toys out, and because obviously I'm always talking about the flow of the fascia. How is the energy flowing? Is it flowing or is it stopped, stagnant and tight? And, this toy, the cells expanded, joyful, loving, open, curious, or are they dark, apathetic, and non-motivated? Because we're emotional beings and we're in this constant state of flux. One minute we're down, next thing we're up. And really, what's happening is now we have to take responsibility for our emotional state. And I cannot talk to people about food. I'm really not interested in nutrition. I'm interested in getting the ecosystem back into state, but pretty much everybody knows, eat clean, right? And then if you can't do that, it's an emotional, habitual, addictive situation that requires the letting go side of my skill set. And that's where I'm so passionate about. And that I normally help people to believe in the potential of healing. I don't know what's going to happen to people. I can't make any guarantees. Nobody can. But what I can absolutely inspire you about is the power within you on the energy side of the body and the solid data around what Joe Dispenza's doing. And that's what it is. When we have a collective mass of humans focusing on what we want, then guess what happens? That's our new reality. But the big problem is right now, everybody's fighting, want to be the best, bringing down each other's modalities. Even when it comes to oxygen, I'm like, oh my God. It's just crazy. Everybody, there's so many brilliant things popping up all over Scotland, and they're all great. And you go where your heart tells you to go, because we need this. We should not be competing. That's the old way to do it. We should be collaborating as a country to get our health picture off the bottom of the pile. This is our kids, our grandkids. And, I'm sure there's somebody around you that's not been well. It devastates the whole family. It's not just one diagnosis, it reverberates out. And we have a problem in our country. Economically, we can't sustain, we can't look after each other if we're not well. So, the parasites, yes, there's things that you can do. Do you need a test or do you just need symptoms? Have you been traveling? Have you been eating foreign food? Have you got animals in your house? Is that how you feel? Is the digestive system bloating? And the thing is, when you're not digesting your food properly, 80% of our daily energy goes on, guess what? Eating and digesting our food. So 80%, if you've got, that leaves you 20% for doing all the other cool stuff that you want to do. So if your body's struggling, and a lot of people are saying to me, I need to nap in the afternoon, nap. Don't be embarrassed to sleep. When the body's just like that, will you lie down and let me restore and repair the mess that you've made in here? And that's what's happened to all of us. We're living in a very polluted, poisoned world on all levels. And really, there is nobody coming to save us. Nobody. We have to dig deep into that spirit of ours and go, do you know what? We're changing this. Growing your own food locally, intermittent fasting, and then sticking a few days fasting in, and then getting in a sauna, sweating 3 times a week if you can. And that will bring me on to, we've got some new light panels, we've got some new light products in. People are always asking me, and really, I know that the people that we are using, and we've got Jonathan as the engineer asking all the right questions and asking the spec that he exactly wants. But people ask me, really, what can you afford? And how much do you need support to heal? And, I'm saying to people, crowdfund, get it into your communities. We need this. We need it to be handy for people. And if you've got the money, get it into your house. Why would you not? And then guess what? You have to use it. You have to actually use it. And, for me, I'm looking at the superhuman protocol, which is just so powerful. And if we can just have these set up, so you go and you do, it's like an energy gym. It's like, instead of going to expend energy, you're going to get energy. So that's the energy gym is the way I'm seeing it. You've got your PEMF, then you move on to the oxygen, and then you move on to the light, and then you come out and the cells are just singing and you are charged and ready for your day. And then, why should we not have that all over the country? We can have that. We definitely can. So it's up to, but I can't do it all myself. People have got to get involved. I'm going to be doing biotherapy coaching training to really make sure that people understand the power that we have in this place. And that friends of mine, Aldo and Stirling, Kathleen over in Dunfermline, the incredible Hold On in Great Western Road, this is not a competition. And Oxygenate in Paisley, phenomenal. It has to be handy for you. You need to be able to, there's a new Norma Barrack place in Clydebank. Name them all. Go and check it out. Try it. Because nobody is going to come and save you from this. We have to get cleaner in the inside. And, my big passion is the mind. Let go of all the limiting beliefs that you need an expert to heal. You don't. And, with the fascia responds to music, to sound. That's why it's so beautiful, all these sound baths are. The fascia responds to that, not force. And that's been a biggie for me because I like high impact. I like, mental, loud music. Da-da-da. So when it's like, shut up, sit down, pay attention to the body. What does your body need? Ask. Guess what? Talk to that innate intelligence within you. What do I need to support my healing journey? And then pay attention, because you're going to get an answer. And that might seem really weird and woo-woo. That used to, I used to go to things and say, all the answers are inside of you. And you'd be like, oh, what does that even mean? But when you start, and do you know what I've been doing? The other thing, I've made like a meditation visualization powerhouse for the sauna, for the Theralite bed, for the penth mat, and for the oxygen. Because I'm like, if you imagine, instead of lying in the penth mat or the sauna, what I normally do is I listen to Brooke McPoyle in the sauna and I get all my fascia information. I got all excited about the body. But then I was like, well, you can either sit in the sauna and listen, and there's nothing wrong with that, or you can sit in the sauna and go inside and use the incredible power of your words, your thoughts, your intention, your focus, your imagination to take you where you want to go. Now, whether your label's MS, Parkinson's, cancer, stage canteen, the fear that comes with these labels, it's very difficult. You start going down, well, what's going to happen to me? Because you go down the wrong path, right, in your mind. So now we're like, let's go down the right path. Where do you want to be? Why would you not dare to hope? Why would you not Google and follow the people who have defied the odds? We've just bought into a system and we just go in without really thinking about it because fear takes over. The brain goes into fight or flight mode and we stop thinking rationally. Hundreds of thousands of people are defying the odds. Go to Kelly Turner's Radical Remission site if you don't believe me. Nicholas Gonzalez, Brian Clements, the Hippocrates Institute, Patrick Vickers. Need I say more? Budwig in Spain. There's loads of places, but the big problem is you need money to go to a lot of these places. So what myself, Jonathan, the Health Hub, and Marissa, Alta Vita Health over in Edinburgh, and Kathleen, all my friends all over the country doing incredible work. We want these people of Scotland to be able to access all of that stuff. Because here's the other thing that people completely forget is the placebo. You've been given a narrative that can kill you because they're covering their ass. And what's the worst case scenario where you could die? Well, what's the best case scenario where you could fly and you could use this to turn your life around? Your body's talking to you. So that's where my interest lies, in the power of the beliefs, the subconscious beliefs, and the ability to dare to believe that healing is a potential for you. Not me. I can't do anything. I can't make you believe. But I can help you believe in the magnificence within you. Think about this. At the moment of conception, the egg and the ovum and the spark of light that started our lives. What even is that? That electrical current of life. We are electrical, magnetic, sacred beings. So what are we doing? Anyway, did I even talk about parasites? I come on here with a topic and then I go way off. Have an amazing, amazing day. Come and visit me if you want. Come and have a look round. We do free discovery calls. We do free discovery visits. We're starting the academy. I've been so busy with one-to-one clients, thanks to the wonderful Helen Matthews, because she's feeling so much better since she came and had a good talk with me. And that just warms my heart. It makes everything worthwhile. Everybody that's coming is young. It's terrible what's happened to people's health over the last few years. So, but anyway, we're not going to moan and groan about that anymore. We're not going to blame, shame and complain either. We're going to get into action and we're going to be part of the change. All the people that have woken up, that's what we need to be grateful for. Anyway, have a wonderful day and I will chat to you all soon. Ciao.